सॉरी यार, मुझे ये लड्डू नहीं मिला।
खास चीजें हो या इन्वेस्टमेंट, अलग अलग जगहों पर रखने में ही समझदारी है। इसीलिए म्यूचुअल फंड्स ये आपके पैसों को अलग अलग जगहों पर इन्वेस्ट कर मार्केट के रिस्क को कम करते हैं। म्यूचुअल फंड सेविंग का नया तरीका। म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
In his pomp, there was none like him. Fast, furious, menacing, and lethal.
To make someone bowl fast, you cannot teach that. That comes natural to you. That is, that you're born with it, I guess.
But his story doesn't begin and end with bowling fast. 3 decades in the game as a player, captain, coach, and broadcaster have generated a wealth of experience.
90s were a real high time of Pakistan cricket and also a lot of controversies, as you said.
On the show today, one of the greats of the modern game, Wakar Younuss, on the turmoil of being a Pakistan cricketer. Just the big picture first, Wakar. You've been around 30 years that you've been involved as a player, coach, captain, various roles that you've done. What's your sense? Has a lot changed in Pakistan cricket or still pretty much the same as 1988-89?
Look, I came to Pakistan cricket or Pakistan team in the late 80s, and I come from a very small town in southern Punjab, a place called Bihari. I don't know, you must have read it. You wouldn't have seen it. It's a very small town, so I have seen from the very lows of cricket, and I was growing up, playing the club cricket, and I have sort of coached Pakistan and also captained Pakistan for a little while. So I have seen lots of ups and downs, and I've seen Pakistan winning a lot of titles during that time also, and also seen a lot of controversies during that time. So nothing is short when I talk about Pakistan cricket. Yes, Pakistan cricket is struggling a little bit at the moment. We have issues, we have problems, but yeah, the system you're talking about, that from that day till now, things have moved, not changed. Things have just has gone for a betterment at times, and then have come down also. So there is no real consistency when I talk about Pakistan team, because not only consistency in the team, but as well as in the management. When you talk about the administrations and all that, there is no real consistency. I think that's where we lack, and that's where the actual problem is. Cricket is run by a lot of different various people of life. Like, we have been administrated by army men also, a politician also, a businessman also, a bureaucrat also. So cricket is led by a lot of different people. So I feel that is one big reason we have never concentrated on.
What is it that despite these problems, we see the emergence of such special cricketers from Pakistan? I mean, Wakar, Wasim, yes, but going back to the era of Fazal Mahmood and the Imran Khans, the Javed Mian, that's after you guys as well. The kind of cricketers we see emerge from Pakistan. How does that happen, given all these problems that Pakistan continues to have?
Look, I think as whole, as a subcontinent, we're a very talented people when it comes to cricket. Take India, take Sri Lanka, take even UAE now. I mean, there are a lot of cricketing talents in our country, and I think in Pakistan we have a sheer talent. And if I go back to Fazal Mahmood's time, I don't really know much about how the system worked then, but of course the system came as when we were playing. Yeah. I thought the system was a little bit better than what we have now. We had lesser teams, we had more quality in cricket, and also we all still got talent. I'm not saying that we don't have talent, but I think this talent is being expanded and it's been lost a little bit, because we got too many teams playing first class cricket. In those probably days, we had what? We had only like 8 first-class teams playing and competing against each other with departmental cricket and some regional cricket, or should I say associational cricket. It was very difficult to play first-class cricket those days. You know, I still remember when I first played my first-class game, let alone the test match cricket, first-class game, it was a dream come true for me. You know, it was amazing for me. It was something really special that day. But nowadays, I feel that cricket, first-class cricket, has just been, you know, been gifted away. There've been too many guys playing cricket. I don't want to take cricket away from any kid from Pakistan. They all deserve it. I come from a small town, as I said, so I know the importance. I know people who love the game, the kids who love the game, they want to play cricket. But I feel when you look at the bigger picture, when you look at the international cricket, I think it's important that the first-class cricket should be played by lesser people. There should be more competition among them to get to certain teams or get to certain level. There should be a serious competition. That's how you produce top cricketers. And I feel that is lacking in Pakistan at the moment.
Can we go back a little bit to the Wakar younuss story? The emergence of this tearaway fast bowler at 17, 18, 19 years of age. The story goes that Imran Khan spotted you bowling on television and said, who's this kid? I want him to play for me. But it isn't only as simple as that. You were already being spoken of in certain circles and talked of as a future Pakistan prospect. What do you remember of that time, and what can you think back on that story?
Look, Gaurav, well, when Imran saw me, he saw me on a television. So I must have done something to get to television. You know? So, you know, I came through a proper channel. You know, fair enough. He saw me probably a touch earlier than probably normally a cricketer will be seen. Maybe he'll play a couple of more seasons before he get to that level where I got to. I was lucky that in a very first season of my first-class cricket, I played under 19 for Pakistan also, and I played against India also. All these Jadejas, Mongias, and all these guys. Prenjape was a very fine cricketer. I mean, we played against all of them before I played first-class cricket. And I played in the 16 also before that. Also a Youth World Cup, I was in the camp, which I couldn't manage to get into the team to go to Australia, where all these Nasser Hussains, Mike Athertons, and all these, they all came from. So there was a system those days. I played that game which Imran Bhai saw on the television. That was against the Delhi 11. We used to have that Super Wills Cup game, and we were the champions of domestic season, and then we played a game against them. And he was sick, he wasn't coming to the camp, and I was part of that 22 boys which were in the camp those days. And I was dying to see him, literally dying to see him, that why isn't he coming to the camp? He was sick, he wasn't well. And he sort of saw me playing that match, because that game was in the middle, that was in the gap, that was on the weekend. And I got the opportunity to play that game. And very next day he came and he just told me, I mean, the first thing he probably spoke to me was, you know, you're going to Sharjah. I just imagine that. I mean, those days were different. Not much saying from the selectors or other people. It was probably him who was running the whole show. So that's how Wakar younuss came.
That's very unusual if you look at systems from other countries. Of course, there's people are identified, but they come through, as you said, first-class cricket, and then there's the natural progression. What about this whole art of learning how to bowl fast? Was that was the skill that's involved with fast bowling? Was that something you learnt prior to coming in the Pakistan team, or a lot of it was learning while you were playing international cricket?
I think a lot of it was already learned. When I came, I knew a lot of things, and a lot of hard work was put into it. I must say that fast bowling is a very natural sort of an act. When you talk about genuine fast bowlers, I mean, medium pacers nowadays, there's a lot of coaching involved, and you tell people how to swing the ball, how to do that. But I feel to make someone bowl fast, you cannot teach that. That comes natural to you. That is, you know, that you're born with it, I guess. Yes, you can improve maybe to a certain degree. You can improve a pace. You can improve a little bit. But when it comes to a genuine pace, you cannot make a medium pacer into a genuine pacer. So I was born with it. I was very lucky that I had this that skill in me. And on top of that, I had put a lot of hard work into it, coming through those under-19 times and that first class, or even before that first class game. We used to play 3-day cricket, and a lot of hard work put into those days. And when I came, when I was in Pakistan team and I was first selected, I knew a lot of things which already some of the guys were doing at the top level, like reverse swing and and running and bowling fast. And I was very lucky that I had Imran Khan as a captain, as a role model, who I had taken a photo with him when I was like 12-year-old or 11-year-old. So it was a dream come true. And the first thing Imran Khan told me when I played my first game, and he said, "Here's the ball, and run it and bowl fast." He never told me to bowl swing or do this or do that. So that art of bowling fast, he never allowed me to slow down or just hit the areas and all those sort of tactics and all that. So I was lucky that he told me that do this, and I kept on doing rest of my life till the time I played.
When we hear about fast bowling, and on the outside you get a lot of sort of technical input about fast bowling, but things like wrist position, how to construct a spell, how to set up a batsman, things of that nature. Was that learning on the job, so to speak, for you, or was that because the Pakistani system, even in the international team, was so well entrenched that a young bowler comes in and is naturally taught these things by the seniors?
I think it was very naturally taught. I had Wasim Akram, who had already played for a little while. Yeah. Azim Hafiz was just sort of finishing. Salim Jafar was there. We had Imran Khan, and we had some serious fast bowling, chain up at the top when I came. So it was easier. It was just easier to learn just by watching them, not really telling them, asking them for anything. Just by watching them, it teaches you a lot. Yeah. So I think it was system, definitely. I back the system in which through I have come from, but also yes, when you go at the top, there were people there to help you, there to show you how things are done, and I was very lucky.
Already Imran's name's come up a few times in our conversation, but he was captain for the first 2 or 3 years of your career, and then he retired, and you still had a long career after that. Did you sense overall in the remaining years that you played that the Pakistani captaincy, in that sense, lost a bit of authority? That wasn't the same kind of figure because of all this chopping, changing, all of the things that happened, that once Imran left, the void as Pakistan captain was never quite filled?
Yeah, you can say that. It did work for a little while after that, because Javed Miandar took it from him, and then Wasim became a captain, and then we had so many captains. Pakistan were also lucky in that span when Imran captain. Nobody else sort of competed as a captain, or nobody wanted as a captain, because he was a genuine leader, and people looked up to him. After that, probably. We could not really produce as good a captain as Imran was. He was simply brilliant. We had good captains. We had Javed Miandar, Wasim, Salim Malik did a little bit, and then we put a sail up. There were so many captains in that short span, that we got confused. That who's the right man for that job. So I thought that's where we also had the problem. And then the media. When the media came, there are a lot of media pressures started coming, which I think it has probably come more in the last maybe 10 years. Before that, there was less media pressure. There was more focus on the game, and even the cricket board was more focused on the game, and they were trying to develop the game.
Why is it, Wakar, and we'll talk in specific a little bit later about this, but why is it that there was so many well-documented difficulties in player relationships within the Pakistani system? I mean, you were part of a very successful team, but there was always controversy, there were always negative headlines, there was always all of this. Was this a much bigger problem in the Pakistan team than the other setups that you saw around the world? The relationship between players, were players always unsettled, untrusting of each other?
I don't know. I mean, it's a very tough question to answer because you know, yes, you are 100% right that there were difficulties. We had a lot of controversies. Then again, if you go in the 90s or little bit into the 2000, that you know, controversies were part of most of the team around the world. Yes, Pakistan had more. Pakistan had more problems within the team, even outside the team also. But yeah, it's a tough one to pinpoint why this was. Insecurity, maybe policies of the cricket board. You know, there were not real harsh step taken at times where probably were needed. I don't really know, but yeah, problems were always there.
Do you regret some of the things that happened? You're an older man now. That time you were a young, you know, fast bowler, presumably with a temper, although I wouldn't think so knowing you now. But especially with Wasim, that was a great relationship on the field, but off the field. And you've spoken about this before. There were issues. When you look back on this, is that something that you regret? The fact that your great comrade was not really a friend for many years of your playing career?
I'm a really good friend with Wasim bhai. Wasim bhai has always been an elder brother. He has always supported and helped me on the field, off the field. Yeah, we had issues. He didn't only have issues with me, but we had the issues in the team those days. Which yes, Gaurav, yeah, if you ask me the truth, yes, I do regret at times because you know it did not really help Pakistan cricket. You know. But then again, if you look at it, we had issues off the field, but when we walked onto the field, it was different ball game altogether. We wanted to compete each other. We wanted to take more wickets than the other one, and I think it in a way it did help. But yeah, if you ask me that particular episode, yes, we all regret it because you know it shouldn't have happened. It was ugly those days, but those days, as you said, that we were younger and we didn't know much. Now probably more wiser, and we want to improve things. Yeah, you can say that it was a regret.
The 90s were a difficult time despite the fact that you guys were such an excellent team. And that again is a reflection of the turmoil in Pakistan cricket. There was also the match fixing era. There was a lot of factionalism in the team, all of that. Did that impact your career in any way, Wakar? Did you feel like it stopped you from even achieving greater heights than you could have? Than you did, actually?
Look, you know, as a fast bowler, you are going to go through some injuries, which I think I had a fair share of my injuries also. And yeah, if I look at it, maybe I could have played maybe a little bit more. But I always wanted to let go when I could have played a little bit more. Yeah, 90s were a real high time of Pakistan cricket, and also a lot of controversies, as you said. But we were all above that. You know, to be very honest, you know, as a team, we were above all these controversies. We had a match winners team. We had team. You know, when you talk about or when you take those names now, you still wants to have those guys in your team.
Yes.
Like, you know, like in Zamam, Saeed Anwar, Amir, Mushtaq Ahmed, Aqib Javed, Moin Khan. I mean, that is the golden period of Pakistan cricket. Fair enough, we had controversies. We won a lot of series away. We won a lot of series home. So that is what you call a gold. That was a golden period of Pakistan cricket. And I guess when you have so many heroes, or when you have so many stars in the team, you know, they are going to have issues. They're going to have problems because they're all big shots, big names, and I guess that's because we were all big performers. These small issues have come.
Big performers with perhaps a few big egos as around.
You can say that.
Yeah. I'll talk to you about your coaching in a bit, but I wanted to talk to you about captaincy of Pakistan. One question that gets asked by a lot of people who wonder on the outside, why would you want to be captain of Pakistan? It seems like just a crown of thorns.
Yeah.
There's so many difficulties. What are your memories of becoming captain of Pakistan and the challenges you faced?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I guess, you know, it's a crown which you want to wear it. I enjoyed my bit. It's a tough gig, as you said. It's not an easy thing to especially in my case, when I became captain, I had what, 6 or 7 captains already captained Pakistan who were under me.
Yeah.
It was not easy. It was difficult. 2003 World Cup was a clear example of that. But people wants it. It's something I guess they feel pride in to lead their country, which I think is fair enough. To lead your country, but I think it's cricket board's duty or a policy should be there to who they see captain for a longer period, which we have seen around the world, that teams who have one captain led for good 8-9 years, they have had major success. You take Australia, you take even now to India also. Mahendra Singh Dhoni has been leading for last what, 8-9 years now.
Yes.
So I think more than anything else, it's the cricket board who needs to identify or to pick the guy who is going to lead this team for a longer period of time. We just picked out of the box, I guess. At one stage, we had 3 or 4 captains changed within year or so.
Well, you captained a reasonable amount for Pakistan. You captained, as you said, at a World Cup. Did you feel that you had the support of the entire team, or were there problems there as well? You can be honest now.
I'm going to be very honest.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. On the outer skirt, how I see it,
Yeah.
we played poorly in 2003. We were a very fine side. We had some great players. But if you ask me what was going on with behind my back, I don't know, to be very honest. Yeah, but I felt that I can give my best, and I hope that my team will give best. Yes, there were a lot of rumors that people never wanted this or never wanted. They didn't really perform the way they should have. But then again, I mean, there are a lot of teams who have gone out of the first round. They were probably the favorites of the tournament. Take Australia for example. They've been out of the tournament a couple of times. They were not even part of India in 2007. So I mean, these things happen. But I don't really see, or I don't really think that people were not wanting it.
Yeah. How much of an impact did match fixing and a controversy leave on you as an individual, given there was so much mistrust among the general public, and it's happened in India as well as in Pakistan? Did that wear you down as an individual? Did you think that you got treated shabbily, or the players in Pakistan, your teammates in general, didn't deserve a lot of what came their way, or did you think that in that environment the criticism was fair?
I think the entire cricketing circuit in Pakistan suffered because of that match fixing timing. Not only Pakistan, of course, India as well as other countries in a way. To me as an individual, yes, it was very upsetting. It was not that we wanted. It was not that even the cricket board wanted. But the whole episode really put Pakistan behind, maybe 5 years or 7 years to the other teams. Yeah, it did not really help. But if you ask me that if it pulled me down as a cricketer, yes, for a little while. But I came out of it. I always been a fighter, and I led Pakistan after that, and I came and coach also Pakistan after that. I think more than him was Salman Butt. I thought I was really let down by him, because he was the captain then, and when this whole thing happened, and he was very shameful. The little one, the Amir was very, very down, and why I feel for him is that because he was only like 17 then, or 18 maybe.